estimated 500,000 healthcare workers are exposed to potentially dangerous surgical smoke each year.
And unfortunately, many working in the operating room are unaware of the harm that inhaling surgical smoke could be causing on their health. I decided to dig deeper into what companies are doing to solve this life-threatening problem. Julie, cigarettes, cigars, all products we know generate harmful smoke, but there's another smoke, far less known to the public, that's hurting hundreds of thousands of people every year.
85% of surgeries performed in the U.S. have electrosurgery. And if you have electrosurgery, there's surgical smoke. So if you've ever seen any kind of a medical TV show or even been in the operating room yourself, you may have seen a surgeon use a scalpel to open a patient or to cut tissue. And electrosurgery is a high heat or high electrical current surgical instruments to cut or coagulate tissue. And when you cut or coagulate tissue, the byproduct is smoke.
Here's a startling fact. Being in the operating room for a full day could expose you to the same amount of smoke plume as smoking more than a pack of cigarettes.
And the scary thing about surgical smoke is, let's just take, for example, a mastectomy, which is removal of the breast tissue. Typically, if a surgeon is removing breast tissue, that's because there's cancer involved. So if a surgeon is cutting or coagulating cancerous tissue in the operating room, whatever's on that patient's skin or in that patient's bloodstream can be transmitted into the air.
Nick demonstrated just how quickly the operating room can fill with smoke.
I'm just cutting on a harmless chicken breast here. And the reason this is an impactful demonstration is because in the operating room, smoke will move at up to 40 miles an hour, and you'll never actually see smoke accumulate in the operating room, but you'll always smell it. And it smells foul. It smells like burning flesh. Imagine how much smoke a nurse is exposed to who's in the operating room for 6 to 8 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week, over the course of a 20 to 30-year career. I mean, it's staggering.
Companies like Stryker are doing more to protect doctors, nurses, and patients.
Stryker is committed to making the perioperative space in the operating room a safer place for clinicians to practice medicine and for patients to receive care. So we have a lot of different safety products, but one of which is the Stryker smoke evacuating pencil.
But more needs to be done to keep people safe and raise awareness of the dangers of surgical smoke.
It's surprising that in 2019, in this day and age, knowing what we know about cigarette smoke and how bad that is for you, that there really isn't many rules, laws, regulations out there that mandate that you evacuate smoke in the operating room. The awareness is just now starting to grow throughout the industry on this problem.
And a recent survey by the CDC says the best practices to stay safe are to train employees on the hazards of surgical smoke, ensure procedures that address the hazards and are available for everyone to use, and using a filtering face piece or tool like the one you saw to prevent exposure.
Yeah, I've been in some surgeries, and I know what that smell is, and you don't forget
Whew,
it.
I bet not.
Yeah, well, little is known about the health effects of chronic exposure to surgical smoke, which is why it's so important to be aware of the potentially dangerous effects. And to learn more about surgical smoke, head to our website and click on this story.
Stories you won't want to miss coming